Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the webinar, Connecting Up Technology Donations Program Overview. My name is Sakina Vora, and I'm the Volunteer Events and Marketing Officer. Our speaker today is Ryan Jones, who's the Marketing Coordinator here at Connecting Up. So before I hand over to Ryan, just wanted to go through some housekeeping notes. To those who are new, please feel free to type in your questions in the question box, and we'll try and make sure to answer all the questions during or at the end of the presentation. If you're facing any technical issues, like if you're having any audio issues or are unable to see the slides, please type in those issues as well, and we will get them sorted out for you. This presentation is being recorded, so everyone present will receive an email with a link to the recording and slides by end of day today. So without further ado, I'll pass it on to Ryan.
Thanks, Sakina. Welcome to today's webinar, everyone. Now, the purpose of this webinar, as always, is to make sure that we answer all of your questions about the Donations and Discounts program and how your organisation can make the most of the products that are available. So if you have any burning questions that you've been holding on to, now's the time to ask them. If you have any questions during the webinar, I'll be stopping regularly throughout the webinar to answer any questions. So hopefully that way we can stay on the line until every last question's been answered and you go away from this with a great understanding of what you can do with the program. So I just want to start by giving a quick overview of what the Donations and Discounts program actually is. Hopefully if you're on the webinar you are registered with the program. If you're not, please go and do it now. But the basics of the program are that it's about giving access to donated and discounted technology for non-profits and charities. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. All right. So yeah, the concept is that you're spending your money on service delivery and on helping in the community rather than spending your money on technology. And the way that we do this is we partner with technology companies such as Microsoft, Symantec, Cisco, Adobe. They donate their products to non-profits and we help drive that for them. Now each donor partner has a specific area of giving and they have a specific allotment that they can donate every year. And the rules for each donor partner are slightly different, and we can go through that in a bit more detail later on. Now, one of the unique things about this program, okay, cool. One of the unique things about this program is that it is run by not-for-profit organisations for not-for-profit organisations. So we, Connecting Up, are a not-for-profit organisation and we've partnered with a global non-profit called TechSoup Global to deliver the program. So the way that we keep this program sustainable is we charge a small administration fee on all of the product donations, which is about 4% of retail price. And that means that we're here not only to give you a donation today, but to give you a donation in a year or two's time when you need it. You can see a wide range of different partners. Some of them you would have heard of, some of them you wouldn't. But depending on what your organisation's goals are in terms of IT, all of them have something that they can assist you with. So what is different about the donations program? I guess I've already talked about the global network of non-profits supporting each other with technology. And the donator software. The partners all have specific areas of giving, which means that not every non-profit is going to qualify to receive donations from every partner. I mean, in some cases, some partners specifically want to donate to organisations that provide aid to the poor. In other cases, they want to donate to a wide sample of organisations. It's all a bit varied. But in general, we work to make sure that every non-profit that registers with us qualifies for as many donor partners as possible. One of the other important things to note is that the donated Microsoft licenses all come with software assurance, so they're volume licenses, and what that means is that you get some more benefits and flexibility around how you use those volume licenses, but it also means that you need to register with the Microsoft Volume License Service Center, and that's how you can go to download your software and obtain your keys. So there are a couple of slightly different things with those licenses depending on what license you get, and that's all on the product pages. But if you are having trouble with accessing that Microsoft Volume License Service Center, there's some great help content on the website, which we can send out after the webinar if anybody needs it, and that provides you with a good overview of how to register and then how to activate licenses. And the other thing is that the software is now all delivered via a digital download. So there's no discs, there's no media anymore. That was done about a year or so ago, and it's part of an environmental push to cut down on the waste. A lot of non-profits weren't even using the discs because of the digital download option. So Microsoft were the last partner to get rid of that and go completely digital. No questions at this point, so we'll move on to managing your account. So when I was talking about how all of our partners have different areas of giving, the way that you can work out who you can actually order with is by going to the My Account page. So My Account page is available in the top right-hand corner of the screen when you're on our website. Once you've logged in, you'll see that the login link is replaced with a My Account link. And here you can see this dashboard, which is a great way to quickly connect to all of the important links that you need. Now, if I move my cursor over here, hopefully you can, yep. So you can see this What Can I Get link here. So what can I get? You click on that and it shows you very quickly which partners you qualify to order from, and you can click on them and be taken straight to a page that shows all of their products. So this is really good when you're trying to determine, plan which partners you can benefit from through the program, and it's really useful to just give you a quick summary of what you can do. Order Now obviously takes you to ordering. You can view your order history. If you are Microsoft qualified, so that is you're qualified to receive donations from Microsoft, you'll see this Microsoft Donation Center link. Now this is a really, really important link if you qualify for Microsoft donations. I can show you a quick demo afterwards if anyone would like. Just let us know in the question box. What it does is in a snapshot it shows you where your organization is placed in terms of orders and license counts. So with Microsoft you can order up to 10 different titles in a 2-year period and up to 50 licenses for each title. There's some differences around server licenses, so if you're ordering servers then probably have a look at our help and support section or get in touch. But that donation center will quite easily show you, okay, you've ordered 10 licenses of Office 2013, so you can still order 40 licenses in this 2-year period. It'll show you when the 2-year period ends, and once the 2-year period ends then you can start completely afresh. It just gives you that ability to know exactly where you're at in terms of the allocation that Microsoft donate to nonprofits and what you can do with it. Also the really scary thing is it shows you the retail value of the software that you've received, which is usually a surprise for a lot of organizations, but it's great that Microsoft are able to do that. One other thing, or two other things that people often ask us is this purchase content link. Purchase content is if you purchased webinar recordings for some of our paid webinars. If you lose the email, then the link is on this page and you can always go back to it and watch it at your leisure. And also the Cisco application. So Cisco have made some changes to their donations program in the last 6 months, and that Cisco application is required for organisations that used to be Cisco qualified to fill that out. Alright, and obviously on this page too you can see that my profile is only 68% complete. That's because I haven't claimed my listing on the directory. So the directory is a really good opportunity to boost the presence of my organisation online. Alright, so no other questions at the moment. So everybody often asks for a bit of advice in terms of what they need to order and how they can benefit from the program the most. So I just want to look at what has changed recently and some of the things that you might need to know that you may not have known. The most important one, hopefully you received the newsletters that indicated this. So Microsoft have made Windows XP and Office 2003 end of life. So what this means is that there are no more security updates or upgrades for either of these products. So if you do have computers on these versions of Windows or Office, now is the time to upgrade. Now if you're on a professional version of Windows XP, you can upgrade to Windows 7 or Windows 8.1 through the donations program. You'd be able to order an upgrade of Windows 8.1 Enterprise and then go onto the Microsoft Volume License Service Center and download 8.1 Pro. And with the migration from Windows XP to Windows 8.1, just remember that it is a clean install, so the best thing to do is to back up everything on that computer, format it, and start completely afresh. Now with Office 2003, if you're still using Office 2003, it's probably on a Windows XP computer, so you'd probably do both of them at the same time. Now, Microsoft have started rolling out their Office 365 donations program in Australia. Now, we've been doing a lot of work on other webinars talking about Office 365, so I don't want to go into it in too much detail here. But basically, Microsoft are donating access to the enterprise version of Office 365, which includes cloud-based servers, email servers, cloud storage, SharePoint, video conferencing with Link, a range of different solutions. So what this has led to is a number of organisations coming to us and saying, look, we want to do this, but we need a bit of help. We don't really know how to do it. So what we've done is we've partnered with another non-profit called InfoExchange to deliver Office 365 readiness assessments. And what this does is it means that your organisation gets a customised list of steps that you need to do before you migrate to the cloud. It gives you some certainty around the costs involved. And InfoExchange will provide you with a detailed quote on how to do that migration. And it also gives you an idea of things that aren't necessarily Office 365 related directly that you'd need to upgrade before you make the jump. The big one for a lot of organizations is the internet connection. Just make sure that everything in your organization is ready to go before you migrate to Office 365. I think we've got a couple of questions, Kara.
Yes, Ryan, we have a question here from Eleanor. Why order 8.1 Enterprise, then download 8.1 Professional?
Because the way that Microsoft structured their volume licensing now, Windows 8.1 Professional isn't available through volume licensing anymore as a purchase, but one of the benefits of software assurance is that it comes with upgrade and downgrade rights, which means that if you order 8.1 Enterprise, you can downgrade that license to 8.1 Professional, or you can also downgrade further to Windows 7 Professional. So you get those rights for 2 years, which means that if Windows 9 comes out next year, there'll be a free copy of Windows 9 ready to download on the Microsoft Volume License Service Center. All right. Now, a new partner that has come on board in the last couple of months is Bitdefender. So Bitdefender provide a range of antivirus solutions aimed at different sized organizations. So they do a desktop style antivirus solution for Macs and PCs in 1, 3 or 5 user packs. And they also do a range of enterprise security solutions for organizations from 10 users up to 100. Now the enterprise solutions have some better tools in terms of managing your computers and making sure that they're all up to date. Bitdefender has been a really popular program since it launched. One of Europe's leading antivirus providers. So if you are needing a newer antivirus solution or yours is up for renewal, then Bitdefender is definitely one that's worth having a look at. Huddle is another new partner. So Huddle is an online collaboration platform. So when we talk about online collaboration, it'd be similar to things like SharePoint or Basecamp. And one of the good things about Huddle is it's cloud-based, so it's really easy for non-profits and charities to set up. A couple of clicks and you're there and you're done. There are also some great demos on their website and some great videos on how it all works. So particularly if you've got staff that are teleworking or volunteers that are teleworking, Huddle is a really valuable platform in terms of collaborating while they're all out and about. Alright, so this is one of the most popular questions I get. What is the most popular products in the range? What do organisations like mine order? And there, I guess there's no one-size-fits-all solution in terms of the donations program. There's nothing here that every organisation, here's the box for a small organisation, here's the box for a medium organisation. But what we generally find is that by far and away our most popular products are Windows and Office. A lot of organisations take the opportunity with the admin fees involved in the donations program as opposed to the retail pricing. They take the opportunity to upgrade their organisation to a standard Microsoft platform. So making sure the whole office is on the same version of Windows, the same version of Office. It can make it a lot easier for them to, certainty in knowing that if you send a file to a colleague, they'll be able to open it, the fonts will be there, the file will display as it was intended to display, rather than have issues where I don't have that version, I can't do that. So that's definitely the most popular aspect of the donations program. A lot of organisations also upgrade their Windows servers if they've got servers. And in a lot of cases, the savings that they make on the server license allow them to invest in having contractors properly build and set up a server. So that we're still seeing Windows Server being quite popular, even though cloud is more and more on the horizon and helping more and more organizations. Norton 360 is far and away our most popular antivirus solution. So it's a great solution for small organizations. It doesn't include some of the enterprise features that you get in something like semantic endpoint protection, but it's perfect for smaller organizations. Cisco switches and wireless equipment are definitely popular as well. It allows organizations to upgrade slow old networks with faster equipment so that they can transfer bigger files faster. And our Refurbished computer program has been one of our most popular programs since it launched. We work with commercial providers to get a range of heavily discounted refurbished computers out there for non-profits. All right. Sorry about today. I'm actually quite under the weather, but we'll get through this and we'll answer all of your questions. So Windows 8.1 is Microsoft's latest and greatest operating system. So the start menu takes some getting used to. I'm sure people have seen information about Windows 8 and how it works. But what we've found is Windows 8.1 is faster than previous versions of Windows, especially on older hardware, and it's more secure and more reliable. And definitely if you're on Windows XP, now is the time that you really need to upgrade, because at least with Windows 8.1 you'll get software updates. You still have that option, like I was talking about before, to downgrade to Windows 7 if you really need to downgrade, or if your organization is on Windows 7 pretty much across the board. But Windows 8.1 is the way to go in the future. Now with Windows 8.1, like I was saying before, if you order the Windows 8.1 Enterprise Edition, you can downgrade to Windows 8.1 Professional, and that information is on the product page. But if you don't have a version of Windows on the computer, or you have a legal version of Windows XP or Windows 8.1, then you are able to order the Get Genuine licenses of Windows. Now, one important thing to note with Windows Get Genuine is that it is a one-time order. So you can order up to 50 licenses of Windows in a 2-year period, but if your first order for Windows Get Genuine is 1 license, you can't order any more Get Genuine licenses, but you can order 49 more upgrade licenses. If your first order for Get Genuine is 50, then you've maxed out your allocation, which is fine. But it's just important to know that you need to do a bit of planning around your IT infrastructure before you order your Get Genuine licenses, so you don't get caught needing some more 6 months down the track. Okay. So when we get onto Microsoft Office, Office 2013 is the latest version. Those organizations that are looking at Office 365, Office 2013 is fully compatible with Office 365, and the 100% free donated Office 365 plan is the E1 plan, they call it. Doesn't actually include Office 2013 with it. So it doesn't include a desktop client. So if you are looking at doing the migration to Office 365, getting your organization all onto Office 2013 is a really good first step, because then you've got a solid foundation to connect it with Office 365 and access a lot of the cloud features that Office 365 gives you. Now, Office 2013, the interface is very much an evolution of 2007 and 2010. So for those organizations that are still on Office 2003, might be a bit of a shock. But once you get used to it, the new interface seems to be very easy to use. So Office includes all of your standard Office apps like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, as well as Publisher, which I know a lot of organizations use for producing newsletters, posters. So Standard Edition includes Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, Publisher, OneNote, and OneDrive Pro, or OneDrive for Business. The professional version adds Access, which is the biggest one. So organizations that have got Access databases will need to order the professional version. Also includes InfoPath, the Link client, and Business Contact Manager for Outlook. So for a lot of organizations, they won't need the professional version because they don't need Access. And there's nothing stopping you from ordering a mix either. If you're an organization that has 25 staff and 5 of them need access to an Access database, you could order 20 copies of Office 2013 Standard and 5 copies of Office 2013 Professional Plus. Not many questions today. Hopefully everybody's still awake. So onto our range of antivirus. One question that always comes up is renewal. So your antivirus must be renewed yearly. So the way that you can do that is you just log onto the website and request another donation. Partners like Symantec only allow you to place one order per year, so then you can place another order in 12 months to renew. So the donation range includes Symantec Desktop, which is where Norton 360 fits in. There's also Symantec Enterprise. Then you've also got Bitdefender and O&O software. O&O do a bit more of the tune-up type products. And in terms of discounted solutions, we've got Kaspersky, Sophos, and WebRoot. So they're mainly tailored towards larger organizations. Because they're discounted, they're a bit more expensive than the donated licenses. But they do have some more features that are very helpful if you're running large numbers of computers. And one thing with the Symantec Enterprise range too is that Symantec donate their backup solutions, so backup exec and system recovery, are both available through the donations program. So if you are looking for a solution to back up your organization's computers and servers, then the Symantec Enterprise range might be the perfect solution. All right. Accounting is an area that we've worked really hard on in the last year or so. It's an area that our clients have been telling us for a while that they really need a bit of help in. So fortunately, we've now got MYOB on board as a discount partner. So MYOB discount a range of their accounting software, and that's everything from they have solutions if you're already a MYOB user and you need to upgrade. They discount their cloud accounting, and they discount their original box product accounting. Now, we've had Calxa on board as a donor partner for a couple of years now. Calxa is an Australian company based in Townsville. If anyone's ever been to our conference, you would have met Mick and Alex there. Great people at Calxa. Calxa have donated about $500,000 worth of software to Australian and New Zealand non-profits now. And what Calxa's products do is they integrate with your MYOB accounting to produce graphical and easy to understand budgeting reports. So Calxa is geared around taking the data that you've already got in MYOB and allowing it to be easily digestible and to allow you to do easy budget forecasting. Yeah, okay, I'll just take this question.
Yes, do many NGOs use cloud software, and what are the security concerns?
That's a great question because we've just launched a cloud platform. The easy question in terms of whether people are using it is yes. A lot of organizations are using it. A lot of organizations are actually using it without knowing that they're using it. Number of organizations that I meet that are using Dropbox, Google Drive, some kind of cloud storage solution. It's a great way to back up their data, but some of those more consumer-based cloud storage solutions don't actually cater for the needs of non-profits. I remember actually there was one solution, I can't remember what it was called, but the terms and conditions of a consumer account actually gave them the rights to all of your data, which is not something that you want to do. You need to know those kind of things before you sign up for them. There are also a number of organizations using things like Gmail or Outlook.com for email. In terms of cloud software like Office 365, yes, there are a number of organizations using it, and that number is growing, especially with the non-profit donation that Microsoft are making. In terms of security concerns, one thing that you need to look at before you look at a cloud provider is where the data is hosted and how reliable their solution is. The Connecting Up have just partnered with R&G Technologies to launch an infrastructure as a service platform, which is an Australian-based, Australian-hosted platform that allows you to migrate your existing servers onto the cloud and have your own private environment. And if you are really worried about your security, for a lot of organizations, having your own environment is really valuable. The information about that is on the website, but we'll make sure that we email that out at the end of the webinar. My experience with the security of cloud is that we as the users are the biggest security link. I was in New Zealand a couple of months ago talking to an organization that used cloud software, and there was no problem with what they were doing with the cloud software except that they were using shared passwords, and those shared passwords weren't getting updated very regularly. So basically the organization didn't have a security issue, they had a policy issue in terms of the security of their IT platforms. And when a disgruntled employee left the organization, they were able to log into the organization's cloud accounts and access data. Now, because they had the password, there is no way around that kind of situation other than regularly changing passwords. And also using the password management features of the cloud software to segregate employees into the areas where they need access to the files. Things like OneDrive Pro or OneDrive for Business, Dropbox for Business, they allow you to revoke a user's access to the files and destroy the files on their computer. And that's a really, really useful feature to have. Not all the time, obviously. You'd hate to have to use that kind of feature all the time, but it's a really useful feature to have when you need a feature like that. So I guess the main thing is you need to make sure that you get a solution that suits your organization, that fits with the needs of your organization, and you need to make sure that you have good policies and good processes in place for managing your passwords and managing your user access, which is really the same as you should be doing now with your on-premise solutions.
We have another question here. If we were to move to a cloud-based setup, does that require a business-grade internet connection that is for faster uploads?
That depends entirely on how many users you have. So that is one of the things that Info Exchange will look at as part of the Office 365 readiness assessment. But, you know, as an example, if you were an organization with 10 employees all on the one site, and you're trying to access your email over the cloud, your file sharing over the cloud, video conferencing, a few other things, then pretty quickly, if you're on a standard ADSL connection, a standard ADSL connection fluctuates from about 2 or 3 meg per second to 24 meg per second. So depending on how far away you are from the exchange, you would probably need to look at some kind of upgrade. The interesting thing with that is though, business grade ADSL, VDSL, fiber, things like that can be quite expensive, but because of the upfront capital saved on a server, often if those expenses are calculated over, say, the life of a typical server, the organization can come out break even or maybe even ahead after paying for the increased cost of the internet, but have all of this extra functionality that didn't happen before, which really helps productivity. So I guess I haven't really answered your question, but it depends so much on your particular organization that it's probably best to talk about it offline.
This is the last question for now. Briefly, what are the eligibility criteria to obtaining an MS Office license?
Microsoft Office. So Microsoft have specific areas of giving. It depends entirely on what your organisation does. So if you're a not-for-profit organisation, we look at what your organisation does and line it up with Microsoft's global eligibility criteria, and then we can work out whether you are eligible or not. If you don't currently qualify and you think that we might have made a mistake or misunderstanding, don't hesitate to get in touch with us, and we can always have a look at it. We can answer any questions that you might have about it, and there have been cases in the past where organisations have changed what they do over time, and their new activities do line up with Microsoft eligible code. And there are also changes to eligibility that happen over time. I mean, about a year or so ago, religious organisations became eligible for Microsoft donations. About 2 years ago, from memory, sporting organisations became eligible for Microsoft donations. So it is something that's constantly evolving, constantly changing. So if you don't qualify, maybe double check the website first and make sure you haven't missed that email. So if you go to that My Account page and have a look, and if you don't qualify and you'd like to know why, you'd like to know whether we can revisit that, just get in touch with customer support. We'll be happy to help. All right. So we'll just briefly have a look at Cisco donated networking gear. We've also got some discounted D-Link solutions for organisations that don't qualify for Cisco donations. We're just in the middle of revitalising that program. So hopefully by sometime next week you'll be able to go on the website and see all the D-Link products there and have a look. So Cisco are donating wired and wireless networking products. So these are high-speed switches, wireless access points. For a lot of organisations, if you're using old switches, they might be the old 10 or 100 megabyte or megabit switches. The new Cisco ones are all gigabit, very fast, and particularly if you're an organisation that transfers large files around the office, a gigabit network can speed that up dramatically for you. The wireless access points go to the 802.11n standard now, so that's a 300 megabit per second standard for newer computers. So if you've got newer computers and you've got old wireless equipment, you might be able to get a bit of a speed boost from the upgraded wireless access points. Now, Adobe have moved a lot of their products to the cloud now. So Creative Suite 6 is no longer available through the donations program. What is available at the moment, sorry, what is available at the moment is Adobe Photoshop and Premiere Elements in a bundle and Adobe Acrobat 11 Pro. Both of these products, organisations can order up to 4 licenses in a year. Important thing to note with the Adobe product is that this is very limited stock. We get a certain number of keys, and it's entirely first come, first serve. I don't think there's any licenses at the moment, but when they become available, we'll send out an email to everyone in the database who is qualified for Adobe donations. And if you know that you want Adobe software, don't delay, order straight away, because there have been cases where the program is shut within a matter of days because we've just run out of stock. Adobe has been one of our most popular donations programs since it launched, and with the limited stock, it's best to just get straight in there. So it's really good for organisations that have got design needs. Photoshop Elements is a simplified version of Photoshop, which is great as a starting point for new people. Premiere Elements is a simplified version of Adobe Premiere, which is a video editing product. And I've seen some great stuff produced by non-profits. I've got some videos at the moment of a surf lifesaving club that were able to put together safety videos using Premiere Elements. So they're great solutions for organisations that don't necessarily have those in-house skills but want to give it a go, and they're very low cost. And Adobe Acrobat Pro is great for producing PDFs, but also manipulating PDFs, things like extracting pages, reordering files, making simple text edits. It's a very handy program to have lying around.
We have a question here. Can we get Adobe Media Encoder as a standalone application?
No, I think this is the second time I've had that question. No, you can't at the moment. You can get Live Media Encoder free on the Adobe website, but Adobe Media Encoder itself is not available as a standalone. There are some other solutions that you can use for that. So Sakina will email my contact details out after the webinar, and if you get in touch with me direct, I can point you in the right direction of a couple of alternatives that will be free. Okay. So, like I was saying before, our refurbished computer range has been one of the most popular solutions in our range since we launched. It's a constantly expanding range, and it does depend a lot on the product range of our partners and what we're able to get at the time. So the range does include desktops and laptops, also includes some tablets now, some Windows Professional tablets, PCs and Macs. So I've talked a lot about Windows-based software today, but a lot of what's available through the donations program is available for Macs as well. And so we certainly do get some refurbished Macs from time to time. I'm pretty sure we're due to get some iMacs in the next week or so, so keep an eye on your email for that. Now, all of the Windows refurbished computers are refurbished by a Microsoft authorized refurbisher. So they're refurbished with Windows 7 Professional and Office 2010 Home and Business. For a lot of organizations, Office 2010 Home and Business might be everything that you need. It's Word, Excel, and PowerPoint from memory. And they check it over and they make sure that it's good to last your organization for another few years. A lot of them are very lightly used computers from commercial environments. We've had some that are sort of 4 to 6 months old. We've actually had some that were brand new that were sitting in the corner of a warehouse. So there are a range of different products that are available through this range. If you need particular computers, then you can get in touch with us and let us know. We've had some organisations get in touch with us and say, look, we need 30 computers, but it would be really useful for us if they were all exactly the same specification, and if they were all shipped direct to us in one delivery. So we've been able to organise that, and there is a bit of a shipping discount if you're ordering over 10 units. So that automatically gets calculated in your cart now, but if you do have a particular need for a number of computers which are identical, please let us know and we'll be happy to organise that for you. Now, my last slide is just on questions, so just before I get onto that, there are two important things that I haven't really touched on that I would just like to talk about quickly. One of them is our brand new suppliers directory. So for non-profits, the suppliers directory is completely free for you to use, and it can help you find IT providers in your local area. One of the big differences, I mean, some of you might remember Match IT, which we had a couple of years ago. One of the big differences between Match IT and the new suppliers directory is that you can use the suppliers directory to find trusted IT providers. So there's obviously a range of different IT providers out there. There's a few hundred suppliers on our directory, but picking one that understands what you need and understands the issues that non-profits face is often the tricky part. So what we've done is we've enabled not-for-profits to endorse their current IT provider, which means you can search the suppliers directory based on the level of trust the supplier has with the sector, and that's a reflection of how many non-profit clients they have and how many non-profit clients are prepared to endorse their supplier. So if you go on that suppliers directory, you will be able to see that there are some gold ones, there are some silver ones and bronze ones, and that can assist you in finding somebody who can help you with anything in your IT, from a cloud migration through to some network assistance, or installing some software, or helping you out with your website. Now, the other really cool thing about the suppliers directory is we've brought back from Match IT Ask an Expert, and Ask an Expert is an excellent opportunity for you to ask questions of these IT providers and get free answers from them. And if you are after additional support with whatever you ask, then you can pick an IT provider there based on how knowledgeable you think they are and how helpful they've been for you. So it's really catered around connecting IT providers to not-for-profits, and hopefully if you jump on there and have a look, that'll be really helpful for you. Now, the other thing I talked a bit about before was our new infrastructure as a service offering. Now, when I say infrastructure as a service, picture that as you're essentially, instead of buying your server outright and keeping it on your premise, you're essentially renting that server like it was a utility. And the server stays in somebody else's data center, and the physical maintenance of that server is handled by our partners at R&G Technologies. Now, one relatively unique aspect of that offering is that it's based in Australia, which means if you have requirements to store information on Australian soil, there's no problems with that. The data center is in Brisbane, it's very secure, and there is a range of different levels of servers that can be configured to whatever you need. And those servers can be anything from data storage to SharePoint. We've also got some organizations that are using it for SQL servers, for databases, a range of different things. So if you're looking at migrating to the cloud, but you need something a bit more custom, have a look at our infrastructure as a service product, and it might be just perfect for you. Now, that's all that I've got prepared at this stage. If anybody has any questions, now's the time to ask, and we'll stay on here until we've got all your questions answered. And they can be related to the donations program, they can be related to any products, discounts program, suppliers directory, or even if you've just got a random question about something that Connecting Up does, that you want a bit of clarity on, just let us know. We'll finish up the webinar as soon as we've got through all of your questions.
We would really encourage everybody to ask as many questions. Ryan is more than happy to wait here to just address your questions. This webinar is specially designed for you, so make the most of it. I will be sending out an email with the link to the recording and the slides by end of day today. I'll also include Ryan's email address in case if you have any further inquiries. Ryan, would you like to say any last few words before I sum up the webinar?
I think I've covered everything, but yeah, if you have got any questions, fire them through now. Sakina will send through my contact details at the end of the webinar, but now is a great time to ask any questions you might have. You must have explained it perfectly, Sakina.
Yes, it seems like. Anyways, yes, I will include Ryan's email address. So please feel free to contact him after the webinar. So until next time, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Ryan, for presenting. See you. Bye-bye. Thank you.